as I am going to review, so some calls of military interventions by criminals and lackeys or overseas and nationals who joined those fake news and that new action of wanting to bathe of bloodshed here in the country. So I am just referring to a mental disorder man who has Álvaro Uribe, who on January 12 he launched that criminal, and that criminal summoned to a military foreign intervention here in Venezuela. And that serial killer who is recognized as a serial killer, who just in a preliminary investigation it was found out that he killed lots of innocent people who wanted to call them as guerrilla through the false positive, and so he made Colombia a cemetery. And I want you to see this video in which the traitor as Leopoldo Lopez participated in that action. And grounded in that, we will announce some actions. Let's see the video first. We ask an international intervention, preferably supported by the United Nations, to expel those tyrants from Venezuela. And I just invite those paramilitaries to interfere. And so this is a military international intervention with the Venezuelan army to place the office of Venezuela. That's why the thing that we are watching. So this public prosecutor's office have opened an investigation, and we have requested a warrant, an arrest warrant against the refugee and the wanting for justice, Leopoldo Lopez, and at the same time we are just requesting a red alert for the crimes of for instigating armed actions, which is stipulated at the Constitution, and we are applying this organic law of the Constitution, which has a very serious condition. Let's recall that after the Constitution, the organic laws are the most important ones. And in Article 12, it appears this called instigation of armed actions against the Republic. Article 12 of Organic Law of and treason to the homeland, conspiracy, Article 132 of the Penal Code, and association, Article 33 of Organic Law against the organized crime. I want to recall that this subject, who is known at the bottom of the Spanish oligarchy as a as a player, as a so behind that is what we have just seen, and just to call to a wave of violence using Uribe and Duque. The Bolivarian armed forces have already replied and have already rejected, and it is very shameful how these subjects who have lived insulting the Bolivarian armed forces, they just offended them, they have humiliated them, but they couldn't be able to discredit them. So that's why they tried to call the Bolivarian forces to these criminal actions. Let's recall that this individual promoted the uprisings of 2014, sending to deaths dozens of Venezuelan youngsters who previously, some of them have been captured, have joined to kill police officers and military, and after that he was arrested and he was sentenced to a short period in jail, but he violated justice and escaped to the golden exile, in which he plays games and he calls to kill, to bathe of bloodshed and bombings this country, regardless of the consequences. I want to highlight that the Venezuelan people already is awakened, and what we found on January 9, there were constant calls to that on January 9 that could happen anything, including a military intervention. Protests, riots, violent riots that would generate an internal and external actions to prevent the swearing ceremony of President Nicolás Maduro Moros. So we could see how they concentrate, and that was checked, that was fact-checking, a gathering of less than 1,000 people, when they lied that the Madam Machado had been arrested, and that is a fake news. As we saw in a video that the person that she said it was kidnapped and disappeared, that person was talking after an investigation of the public prosecutor's office. If she said he was missing, we opened this investigation and the person appeared safe and sound, and he told that there wasn't such arrest, and he confessed that, and he said that at the moment in which the Bolivarian police officers approached him was to protect them, and it was like that. It was clearly said by this citizen. The famous bloopers appeared there. We could see that on the video, and the investigation is underway. After that brutal failure, believe in those fake news, in that fake narrative, which was debunked with the video of Madam Machado, which was recorded in a Caracas park, in which she expresses that she wasn't under arrest and she was in a good health condition. And even though some media outlets continue to insist on this false positive of an arrest and the fatal wound of one of his supporters, of one of Maria Machado's supporters, and he is safe and sound, and he is helping in the investigation. I wanted to highlight that Venezuela will continue to stand for within the community, within the opposition community, such as entrepreneurs, workers. This incessant calls to destabilize the country. The people are working, and the people are just living daily, and they are really fed up and repudiate these calls to violence, which are illegal. And I want to make a call of awareness, because when Venezuelans speak, and they are traitors of searching for a military foreign intervention, I would like you to see you at the mirror and think about what has happened in Libya, Syria, in Gaza after military or foreign interventions, how these countries were and how these countries are, because some people are so beaten of hybrid wars. They use social media and they wash. They are helpless, because even some people, very few, because they saw how immoral are these people, these fake attention like that of January 23, 2011 of Maria Machado. Easy Mama, there's gonna be a fake video about me on a shooting, but I'm just about peace at the office. And so this is a lack of ethics, because these are extremely coward people and very insane people. And I want to show you a video to see the before and after of countries who have been interfered by foreign power countries, powerful countries. So I want you to see this real testimony of those who want that I show you in the video. This you can see how the Uribe made a call, made this criminal call, and Leopoldo Lopez follows him. I wanted to recall some figures to end my speech of what is the meaning of the military foreign intervention. In Libya, in 7 months, NATO airplanes use NATO attacked Libya using missiles and under the excuse of some terrorism. According to the World Bank, Libya was growing about 7.5%, registering high developments of human high figures, high rates of human development regarding education, and so Libyans were the level of life of Libyans was considered among the highest in the world, and there were some profits at and so limited the profits of foreign companies, and the war cost around thousands of deaths, and today is one of the most devastated countries in the world, and its population is under crisis. Syria was a prosperous country before the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad government. The government has achieved a public modernization, and it had a prosperous tourism sector, and there were several heritage sites by UNESCO, and under the excuse of some anti-governmental protests, the United States, along some terrorist groups, worked together to overthrow the President al-Bashar, and there were destruction of public services as water and electricity, and today the Syrian government is led by the ISIS terrorist group, and so these are the good ones. Incredible, a country that was bombed and by Israel, and its oil is being stolen by the United States. 300,000 people have been murdered and thousands of displaced and refugee people in neighboring countries, and they want that for. Do you want that for Venezuela? Those who are calling for a military foreign intervention want that. Who joins several who are in that list and that open investigation and are wanted for justice. And the Venezuelan people must be aware of those people, of what they are searching for. Iraq, the invasion of Iraq to release them from Saddam Hussein destroyed that country. I have been personally in those countries, in Iraq, Libya, in Syria, before these incidents, countries that were recognized at a cultural, literature, architectural levels as powers of art globally, and they were stolen, their libraries, museums, all plundered. Do you know how many deaths have been in Iraq? Around 106,000 in 2003, when the country is under conflict right now so far, and over 9 million people have become displaced, and the excuse was that Iraq had massive destruction weapons. And so likewise, Iraq is a failed state. And let's see what Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez said. He said that he entered whatever it took him. And he said that he was coming, and then conspiracies began, that he was coming with shellings, with former presidents, with criminals, all of them. And he entered, of course, but by the door of his bathroom. But the people, Venezuelan people, is fed up of these kind of people. You don't imagine the repudiation against the internal repudiation of these subjects, because at the end, let's see what have happened in those nations, what's been happening in Palestine with the incessant shellings on the West Bank and Jordan. And I ask for an applause to our Bolivarian armed forces, to our people and entities who have been steadfast at defeating all these spokespersons of crime and death. Thank you very much.
We will listen to the statements of the Venezuelan Attorney General.